Hello, and here's your favorite Interkirks back with a video about Veigar, which I've promised. The Vladimir video is also available, don't you worry, it will be coming out soon, just stay tuned, and then we'll get right back into that video. But for this video, we are going to take a look at Veigar, and I'm playing against Kassadin. I'm not supposed to kill him, he's not supposed to kill me. If we both scale, it's all about who hits the other one first, but if he has Crown, I'm in big trouble. So for the laning phase, since he's a melee champion, I can bully him. But there's one thing I have to keep in mind. His second ability is probably worth 2 of my auto attacks. And if he's smart, he can use it to gain a shield, so I have to be really careful. For some reason, he's not actively playing, because it's David Begetta. You know, he's kind of busy. Sadly, my first ability missed here. But you'll see me just chill out, just relax, trying to scale up. Because with Veigar, there's one thing, there's always kind of a win condition for you. As the game time progresses, your champion gets so much stronger. Like, losing late game with Veigar is very difficult. And when it comes about minions, and just generally laning phase, use your abilities in a way where you know that the enemy is going to walk to. Like, you know the enemy is a melee champion and will go through a creep. Okay, cast your second ability into the enemy's way so they have to walk into it. And then try to use your auto attacks to bully them, but don't just stand still and let the melee minions hit you. Path back, and make sure you don't take too much damage. Also have a Kha'Zix here, I get a full crash here, which then allows me to just chill back, allow my Kha'Zix to do whatever he wants. He's invading the enemy Crux right now. And right from this position, I'm relatively safe. I have my my stun. Nothing can really happen to me because it's still just a Kassadin. So I can be very cocky here without any kind of repercussions. And obviously, as a Veigar, there are a few things we need to talk about in this video, where it's just about understanding how you punish the enemy and what you can do about this. And for some reason, my Baron laner just chose to die to the enemy, and the Kassadin flashed onto the Kha'Zix for no reason. And now I'm just making it more difficult for the Kha'Zix to just get here, and he's basically just, you know, dealing for whatever reason with the crap, while I'm just holding the wave in a position where the enemy is losing CS. And I'm just holding a spot where I can always move forward. And since the Kassadin doesn't have flash, he just instantly dies. And here's a big mistake, I believe. Like right now, the Kayle used ultimate, and it's a free kill. They're all dead if we just play to kill and not just run for the crab. So now I lose flash. Now I have a massive wave running into me because we choose a crab over free kills. And things will be, well, not the best, let's put it this way. The Riven is now on his way, let's just highlight this for a second. The Riven is on her way to come from here and to dive me. So I have two options. I recall, drop a big portion of my wave, or I hope that I can play around here and use my cage to get at least one trade kill, or my jungle comes and he gets a double kill when they try to dive me. Pick one. All of these options work. Sadly, my jungle is now busy with the red buff. There's a massive wave I'm getting engaged on. I'm dropping the exhaust my cage and I'll get one kill for free. And as you see, if people pay attention, I mean, I could also use myself as an example. Like the entire play here starts with the crab and then goes to, I could have recalled and dropped 2 minions so this doesn't happen. Or somebody else pays attention. Like there's so many layers of things that could have happened. And it's just, I think it's very important to see that there's so much depth to it, rather than just, you know, ooga booga, I'm running mid lane, let's fight, yeah, let's go. So for some reason, my support is now chilling mid, stealing my XP, achieving nothing. There's no purpose for this. Kind of rough, but yeah, it is what it is. So now, all I want to do is safely scale, get some EXP, chill. But she's making it very difficult for, I don't know what reason. Like, since we will never dive him, and like, we will just never dive him. He will just ult away. And now the Soraka is also here. And if they want to, they can hold this wave, and the Soraka heals them. But they choose to not to. The Soraka nearly gets stunned and therefore one-shot. But yeah, rather than doing this, the Lux could have been top lane and actually achieve something, because the enemy is a melee champion compared to a ranged champion, and the Cassin will always just simply escape. And if you bully the Riven on the other side of the map, you can just completely pummel down the tower and use the pressure you gain over that time to make a Herald play. And just, yeah, and in this game, you will see me actually go for Archangel stuff. The reason for this is, I just want more tankiness. I see that the enemy has a lot of champions that can jump into my face, and they deal a lot of damage, right? Like, the Kassadin will jump into my face, and if he one-taps me, it's just Jover. And to deny this, I just want the added tankiness with the Resolve First tree, as well as the Archangels, just to make my life a lot easier. You see, my team goes for Herald, very nice. I clear the mid wave, the play is completely free. The Kassadin can't just rotate in here, he has to respect everything that's going on here. We drop the Herald mid lane, we get a lot of gold. Sadly, the Lux walks up to steal the gold. She just stole so much of our gold for no reason. Again, like, if you play support, please look for the lanes you can actively punish, and most of the time, it's going to be so much easier for you to just bully top laners. Well, I would love to say that she listened to what I said, but she moved there in the first place. So yeah, I don't think my words actually mattered. And here, my champion loves to sit mid lane. Like, it's very dangerous for me to just walk somewhere without proper information. But what I can do very well, I can play base defense super easily. Like, enemies can't just magically walk into me, because if they do, they just get one-tapped. And here I will play base defense for the tier 1 bot lane, because my champion can do so. Like, all I'll do here is clear the wave. He jumps into me, he's a very brave man, but he still has a Soraka behind him, so any poke damage I do isn't really that relevant. However, his poke damage will stick, which is a big problem. And my Lux just said, I will not play with you, Tristana. I mean, maybe she's got a point, but it's not necessarily helpful if you put your mid laner behind an EXP and just waste time there when you could be doing something else. And sadly, Tristana didn't walk mid lane, even though we cleared the bot wave already, which is a big macro mistake. Here's the next issue with the Kassadin. He just jumps away, but not far enough from the Kha'Zix, who just leaps twice or thrice as wide, as far, my bad, compared to the Kassadin. And while I commit my flash to just yoink the kill to get something done, and now I move up as I see the play happening, hopefully catching the Riven off guard, which sadly is aware of my existence, doesn't walk into me, and now I'm trying to just get something done up here, but yeah, I can't really defend this. Plates are gone, and it's impossible for me. And again, you see, in what dimension is it possible that a Kayle is allowed to do so? And the answer is very simple. The early game was played absolutely terrible. There's no way Kha'Zix and Set should ever possibly die to just play up there and give the Kayle free gold. And as you've seen, we had early pressure throughout the entirety of mid lane, with the lane state, generally how we played the game, how we played the lane, how we chose to go for fights, but we chose to go for a crab rather than kills. And then we give the enemy opportunities to play when we can just completely shut them down. And this Lux is actually just dancing around with my minion. But a beautiful stun by her. We just one-pop the Kayle as she deserves to be absolutely executed on the spot. And now Tristana is here, yoinking our stuff. Our Lux is not caring for her life at all. And it's just a scaling game, friends. We're scaling. Oh, in case you didn't notice, I'm maxing my stun ability second, because my second ability scales with AP the hardest, and I don't really need to invest many points, since its cooldown and everything, she died, is completely related to my AP and my stacks. So I'd rather go for more stuns to create zone control. Like, zone control on this champion is the most important thing. And here you see that the enemy is really trying. They're really trying, but this Soraka is playing with fire. If I catch her, she will die. But for all of you enjoyers, again, a double kill on the other side of the map. Like, I would really love to be swapped out of mid lane to go, like, top lane. But nobody wants to defend mid lane at any point, so unless I want to lose the entirety of mid lane, like I've already lost half the tower only because Tristana chose to walk back bot lane, we will lose so much pressure on the map. And another thing that's kind of beautiful about Veigar and Lux, or just Lux and Veigar in general, is that if you play against a Soraka, all of you champions, all of you know that if you hit the enemy champions, you deal poke damage, right? But what about dealing so much damage that Soraka is not able to burst heal them? And I can also completely deny the Riven's ability to play. Like, I just forced Soraka's ult and spam healing by just doing what I've done. However, by putting this on cooldown, my fighting capabilities are rather low and I'm basically just a stun bot. But I can completely control the zone, but I have to be very, very careful to not walk up too far. As you see, my teammates are walking closer, we'll lose the dragon, but I can at least deny the enemy's chase on our teammates. And we need to be really careful, like, when this happens all the time to me. If a Kayle is past level 10, and she hits an enemy with a third ability, and you flash into your team, you completely blow your team up. Oh yeah, she absolutely griefs it, but will it be enough? The set gets completely blasted. I didn't even see if he had his ability available, and we create zone control. Like, do you see all these stuns with the lower cooldown? It is the only realistic way how we can play the game. We need to be really careful to not just get ourselves caught, and we just don't have the... We didn't have enough cooldown reduction to make sure we can hit this easily, and now we miss every single spell, and she just pops us because she's absolutely crazy. She just walks forward, she just doesn't care. And yeah, like, for many of you it might actually seem very boring to play Veigar, but I believe it is very fun. Sadly, I didn't triangulate her position into the fog of war properly, so my stun didn't connect, but next time I use a better GPS, I promise. And Lux dies again to the ultimate. If you guys know Tatsu always dies on stream to Ezreal ultimates. And for some reason, we are trying to make the most random plays. Like, all we have to do is get a situation in which I place down a cage, and then we can just, you know, use any of our abilities to get the enemy stunned. Literally any. But we're constantly trying to make something happening which doesn't work. Like, we as a general team do not want to just blindly leap in. Oh no, the Tristana is now on a personal vengeance against the Lux, who said, I don't want to play with you. Uh-oh. The Lux is now unleashing it with a yeah, Trist. So what's gonna happen next? Will we see an interesting cascade of messages in the chat in another language? Will they keep it civilized, or will somebody run it down? I wonder. Anyways, back to the game, and here we are simply farming a few minions. Like, as you've seen, like, it's very, quote-unquote, boring as we are chilling mid lane. But in all theory, like, if our teammates want to play around us, they can. At this point, it's getting so much harder because the enemy has scaled. But as long as we are given any opportunity to place down a good cage, we can instantly turn the game. And that is one of the beauties of this champion. If you place down a good cage, like here, cage, boom, goodbye, you're done. Instantly one-tapped. Soraka even healed once before, and it wasn't enough, because it's just too much damage. Nice stun, nice root by the Lux, but she walks up and immediately dies after, because she's not expecting the damage, and she's not honoring her distance. She's not spacing properly. Also quite cool about this champion. Like, Kayle doesn't have much range Tristana, and you still manage to just walk in there and collaterally kill me. This is what I mean, which is so obnoxious about Kayle once she gets to farm for like 15 minutes. You get killed through your teammates. There's not much you can do about this. And even though we lost the mid lane inhibitor, it's not a big problem. Ah, she gets to ult. Unfortunate. Losing the mid lane inhibitor is probably the least issue you can ever have in WildRift. And the reason is quite simple. The mid lane inhibitor is only there for gold. Like, it doesn't really apply pressure. Straka gets stunned, gets maybe one-tapped by the... Yes, one-tapped by the Kha'Zix. Finally, we can maybe go for... And Deluxe dies again. She really doesn't respect the Gale. Oh, no. I just have to be so careful. And here, if I realized earlier I could have saved my flash, I'll place my stun so they can't play. He jumps into it, so the tower's actually saving me, and don't tell me the cat... They really just did that. Well, this was not because I played well, they just played bad. And I will not accept any other statement. They just ran it down. They really did. Anyway, this was very much required for us to be still able to win the game. Like, I need as much damage as possible, and as fast as possible. On the bright side, when the game is looking like this, Veigar is one of the best champions for this. Number one, I can stun minions with my gauge. Number two, oh, she's playing with fire. She's really playing with fire. Yeah, she got Veigared. This is also what I mean. People, like, similar to what Kayle did to my Lux because she's oblivious. The same I can do to others. Okay, but now we can't play anymore because you yeeted them away. So, yeah. Unfortunate. When you play with a mage, just a quick info, when you play with a mage as a bruiser or an engaged champion, try to be close to a wall so the mage can deal damage over the wall without being at risk. And here we have a big issue with Nashor being a thing. So, yeah, Nashor being gone now, can't really do too much about this. We have to clear waves again. It is going to be a very tough game. And depending what champion you're playing right now, this game looks borderline unwinnable. However, we play the Tiny Master of Evil, so if we touch anyone, they might instantly die. She lost her crown, so now she's actually killable. She gets popped, she gets it ultimate and full heals, but there's just not much she can do. There was a 1312 damage slap right into her face, a nice move by the set here, and now we are back on base defense. We can't really join the fight, because if we do join the fight, we lose the game to minions or enable the enemy to just walk past, and we just need to stop the minions so they don't get too close to the Nexus, making it so much harder for the enemy to play. And we need to use every single second we have to just recuperate resources. And it's just very important that this lovely shielding on the Nexus doesn't go away. We need to make sure that they just can't do this for free. And you see how much damage my champion just did with one Q onto the Azrael? Like, if my ult was up at this point in time, he just instantly dies. And again, Baron minions are so broken. Like, if they are normal minions, I just one-tap them. But Baron minions are so tanky. It's actually hilarious. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to our full build. We are hitting critical mass. We have like 242 stacks with Rabadons. This is probably like 330 AP. A little bit more, I suppose. Or maybe just around that one because we're level. Yeah, I think it's about that one. Not quite sure though, because it's like 45%. But still. Rabadons on this champion is unbelievably broken. And yeah, now it's Elder time and we have terrible side lanes. So yeah, best of luck to us, friends. But on the bright side, we have the zone control, so if they walk into us, they just get instantly tapped. And we just have to play around our stun. And if the enemy knows that we have cooldown on our stun, they can play the game, but they just don't respect the burst damage. And the casting gets one tap for no apparent reason. But now we can't continue the fight. We have to go to our base. We have to go base. My teammates are very late to realize this. Luckily, I'm already here to not deny this Ezreal. I even flash it to place down the cage. He goes after me. I have to Zhonya's just to make sure I don't die, because if I die, the game just ends. I believe, at least. So yeah, they might get the Elder, but it's not the worst. Ah, the Kayle got it. And the cast, oh no, it's a tragedy. Yeah, but back to base defense we go, and every time we leave the base... Oh, my Tristana's really angry. I don't know why, though. Every time we leave the base, we need to be very careful. Like, we can get one-tapped so easily. Like, the Kale can actually run us down. Like, if she knows that we don't have flash, we pop their shield now so she can actually die. Okay, she just died. Yeah. Like, there's just nothing. Like, let's take a quick look. How much damage did this? Because there's just no way she can... Like she's stunned. Rooted. Stunned. Let's take a look. 987. 3,167. Yeah, try healing that. There's just no way you can. So yeah, as you see, Veigar is a lovely champion. He just did 3,167 damage right into your face. Only took 19 minutes. But yeah, whenever you play these type of games, Veigar is the champion you desperately want to have. Because this champion can turn every game in late game. He might suffer through a lot of games because he's not a very proactive champion. But still. Oh, what a beautiful combo by the set. Now we go in. Now we have the actual setup. The Kassadin can't survive. He just gets tapped. And now we have the access. Oh no. The Zookeeper just killed the Kazakhs. But now we get a free Nasher. The beautiful thing is I have enough to just one-tap this. I just need to make sure. Yep, and there we go. Because I have Infinity Orb and so much damage, I can just one-tap the Nasher once it's like 2k with like second ability and first ability. So I can secure it even against junglers. It doesn't really matter if the jungler's alive or not. It really doesn't. They can't do shit. And here we need to make sure that the waves don't run into our base, because that would be absolutely detrimental to our win condition. And if I die, we automatically lose. Like I have to be everywhere, and if I catch anyone, they die. So it's kind of a rough thing, because you have to always be aware of what's going on, and you're not allowed to make a single mistake. Like even a misplaced stun could end the game right now. And now we get to a point, I believe the Kassadin would jump in to go to the minion, because sometimes they know they have this like unfortunate judgment about the situation, then they just jump in for the cannon, then just instantly get popped. And again, look at the big minion waves. I place down the cage so they stack up nicely so I can one-tap them. The Kale just walks forward. She instantly ults because she has to fear it. But she has to fear my ult. But I know that she does this and I just wait. Like worst case scenario, I just Zhonya's. And now we just, like the enemy team completely collapses because the Kale actually made a massive mistake. And when you play WildRift, and here I walk to the Tristana so the Ezreal cannot turn around, because if he turns around, I just press my ult, and he just dies, so he has to walk away. So I think alone, the Ezreal would have killed the Tristana, would have been hard, but because I'm there, he can't. So I'm just now walking down mid lane to enjoy my time trying to end the game. Even clearing this ward is an absolute waste of time, and I should have never done so. But the moment I'm here with them, we can end the game. Or at least threaten the ending. Like here I just look for potential catches, the Soraka gets caught, Soraka gets obliterated. How much damage was my second ability? Because Electrocute also procced. I'm curious right now. I'm sorry, I have to see damage numbers. I just want to see, because yeah, you know? 1147 with my Q. 2079 with Electrocute. Yep. Sent into the Shadow Realm where you belong. I'm afraid. Yeah, and they do the same mistake again. They walk too close to my stun. They get one-tapped. Absolutely exploded. And the next person just goes home. Yeah. And that's how we won the game. Isn't it funny? So, as a takeaway from this game, if you're playing jungle or top lane, understand what are the limits of your champions, how you can dive people to not give enemies a free win. Where to be at what time, take a look at the waves, and especially if you go for rotations, if you see that the enemy Kale used the ultimate, which is their most vital ability, and the other champions are still very vital, there's only Soraka next to her, level 4, level 5 at this time. The crab is not the best choice you can go for, because there are free kills if they choose to fight, which they did, and we also have a cage, like a tool to just keep them locked up, and even if they flash away, we still have a tool, like we still force 2 flashes for free, and then we take whatever we want. It's about understanding what your job is in a game, how to do it properly, and how to punish people for their mistakes constantly. And yeah, that's kind of it for today. Thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and come back for more Rift Guides content.